Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I wanted to give an update on that urgent care place I went to, and what a fiasco. I've already got a long video I've got to put out about it. Actually, I'm real far behind on my videos because so much of my 2025, last year now, today is January 9th, it's the 9th day of 2025. I mean, 2026. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The 9th day of 2026. But anyway, I started doing that this year, and it does feel a little awkward. I doubt I'll go past January. Yeah, right. Anyway, we're naming the number. Anyway. That fiasco. But I'm behind on my video, so I decided I'm going to be the ones I have already uploaded and scheduled as dates. I've scheduled the dates for them, and I'm going to do them every other day. It's every even day, E-V-E-N, yeah. And do that, and maybe let's see how it works. But I've started making videos on my original channel over 11 years ago. It was in August. It was 11 years, and one of the things I learned I don't think they had the scheduling out that you could schedule your videos, or maybe they did. Back when it was, what did they call it back then? Classic? Or eventually they called it Classic. But anyway, one of the things I noticed is that the videos that I did that way didn't get watched much. And so I stopped doing that, and I started doing that again last year, 2025, closer to the end of the year. Well, actually, I think I started in August, and I tried it different ways to see if I could get unshadow banned. I have so many channels, 11 years, and I do series that has different spin-offs, let's call them that name. I kept saying different storylines, well yeah, but spin-offs also. And I just recently added yet another one, another spin-off. But all of them, I'm shadow banned. And, well, I was ill for the past 3 years, had weird health conditions, starting in, 2.5 years, starting in 2023. So you say to 24, to 25, and now it's 26. You see, it was about 2.5 years now. And, yeah, it was just weird stuff happening. And some of it wasn't weird, some of it was just, wow. But, anyway, so that's probably when I got shadow banned again, because it's, life is like that, especially when you get older. That's what I've seen. And I could be wrong, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah, life isn't just so easy that you can just keep, everything perfect. Nope. Nope. Things like health issues come up. Anybody, but, I've never had this kind of stuff until I got older, and some of it does seem to be aging related. They love to tell you that. The NIH actually did some, I read some, there's some stuff about that can be hostile environments of doctor's offices, healthcare offices. Not all of them. Not all, but the ones that they were doing research on. Okay, but I didn't read the whole, so anyway. I would think if it's the NIH, I could be wrong on this too. Free for anybody to read themselves. But anyway. That's enough for that. To get to this, what happened since I went 2 days ago. I didn't have much sleep that night before, very, very little, and I was so stressed out, and I went there, and I had been told I was really happy, this is a place but the woman was rude and all that stuff. And, you know, this was like my sanctuary where I didn't face all these bad things. And then the woman that called, she was rude. You know, that was, you have to schedule an appointment for urgent care. Since when? Short version. Okay, now to get to it. I had an appointment. I was misinformed on 2 things. I'm leaving out details of what they could do there. And that was explained. But I also was told that doctors only get 15-minute slots now to see urgent care. Okay, to see patients. 5 minutes of that is taken up by the MA. It's allotted the MA and, you know, the check-in person. You know, they go over this, that, and the other. And 10 minutes for the provider. Not the doctor, but the provider, healthcare provider. Wow, 10 minutes. Oh, yeah. So, there's that. Anyway, to zoom ahead. I had to take a test. It was a urine test. I went to the restroom when I got there. Short version of that is she said she can't tell, and they'd send me something. They're going to send it off to the lab, and the lab is going to, you know, send me something. The lab sent me something, and then I got a text stating you got to go see your PCP, your primary care physician, because it wasn't a clean, whatever that means, clean. What was it, dirty? No, they actually said there's no problem with that, but they couldn't tell 100%. So I need to do another one. You know, they could not state 100%. Okay, fine. You know, and no, it wasn't what you would think they meant. Yeah. I'm like, okay, after all of that, the having, because that woman was so rude to me, it was kind of a little bit traumatic, to tell you the truth. Seriously, she was so rude, and I mean, I'm not even going to say it. What about? She was just rude. And then when I got there, they seemed to think that I should have known to already do, you know, because you do blood tests, urine tests, all that stuff together, that I should have known that that's what they were going to ask me to do before I even see the MA. The MA asked me when I walked in, well, did you do the urine test? And I'm like, excuse me? How was I supposed to know that's what they were going to do? This gets to me, the one that they think that you're supposed to know what is ahead of time what's going to happen, and without even seeing anybody yet. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not new to this world at all. And yeah, I could see that they might do that kind of test too, but the one that I was there for was a blood test. And I had already talked to someone about the blood test. Okay, there's so much more to this. And then I get there and they say, no, we're not going to do the blood test. You'd have to see your PCP. Okay, but they verified that I could. But no, we don't do that because we do that. We have that. We can do that. But you need to go through your PCP. Oh, special. I'm serious. So all that was such a waste of time. Then the next day, and I didn't sleep that. We got home, and Adam was with me. And he's older than I. And he was exhausted. Seriously. I mean, he is not for his age. He's not like me. For my age, what are all these crazy things going on? Him, nothing. Very little, really. And he was exhausted. I mean, the whole thing, just for a 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. 15 altogether. Took over 4 hours. Because then we get to the pharmacy, and the provider had sent the prescription to Florida. This is Texas. And oh, what a mess that was. And I had, told him to put it at this other one, the one on my way home. Well, I wasn't going on my way to Florida. live in Texas. Other people's incompetence can really cause you problems, you know? Or they're having to be rushed and they cannot take the time to make sure they do it right. And in healthcare, just like it's in anything, like doctors, all the way to pharmacists, dentists, anything that could be detrimental to a person's health. Okay? So, no joking aside, no laughing aside. You make mistakes because you're too busy that you only get 10 minutes? Really? Everything can be jam-packed into 10 minutes? I used to do surgery scheduling. I can only imagine what it's like now. A nightmare. It has to be a nightmare. Oh man. It was bad back then. Scheduling appointments for follow-up for people who had surgery with the doctor. They want to do them in 15-minute slots. Really? Back then I felt like I was part of the problem. Now I feel like back then I was part of the problem. But, because the pressure, so who do you blame? It's not the people working there, really. For a good part, it can be. The ones who have the attitude. You can all get it done in 15 minutes. Anyway. So, I'm going to have to see my PCP. I don't like this. I could go to a different urgent care and see if they're as sloppy and bad as this. I know there's one that really, it's very different. And I was not thrilled with them. but I don't know about going to my PCP. It's not close. And they're going to do this whole thing of, let's schedule an appointment and we're going to run more tests. They like that test. The accent. More I talk about that, you'll hear it and come out of me that it's a mixture of Valley Girl and what they apparently think is royalty or a British accent. You tell me you haven't heard that. People who work for doctors, yeah, tell me you haven't heard it, including the doctors. I've heard it since I was a child, I think. I remember thinking something's different as a child. Why are they like that? Are they royalty? But you will hear it in me because I worked there, and that stuff can start rubbing off on you. It really does. But also, I was a career student for over 20 years at university, and there's also a different way people speak, and the words used, the jargon, whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to use for jargon. I'm in a laughing mood because I'm loving this rain. Texan, I'm loving the rain. And anyway, you pick up stuff. 20 years, so yeah. And trust me, switching it over to everyday kind of, there's a word for it, but, that's not the whole purpose. It's not easy. You would think it would be easy. Because, I live in both worlds. I attended university, but I also lived outside of university. Who thinks? Why do people think that if you attend university, you're from? There used to be a show called A Different World, wasn't it? Yeah. Some people but you're still dealing with people outside of it. Anyway, I understand. It was for a show. I'm loving this rain, I'm telling you.